Hello guys, welcome back to another Garbage Channel video, and today we will be working on a iPod Touch 6th generation. I've had this iPod for a really long time and it's been working really well, but recently the Wi-Fi module in it, or something to do with the Wi-Fi module, was not working because I couldn't get Wi-Fi very well even when I was right beside a Wi-Fi router. And then also the battery, of course, it gets old and you need to replace it. So those will be the main two objectives of today. So these are the tools that I'll be using today. I got them off of Amazon, not sponsored, for just a couple bucks, and they work really well, and definitely will be putting a link in the description for them. So the first step that you're going to do is use a heat gun to heat up the bottom of the screen, and not at a super high temperature or anything, just the kind of medium temperature to heat up the glue that holds the screen together. And iPods especially have a very, very strong adhesive that uses to keep the screen and the back together. So you want to heat up the screen, meanwhile using the screen pry tool to just kind of slowly open it up, and it's nice and slow. Speed is key because you don't want to break anything. The next step is to take off the EMF shield, which is held in by, I think, 8 screws, but there's a couple at the bottom near the home button that are sneaky that you need to make sure you get, and make sure not to break anything. After you pull off the EMF shield, you're going to want to peel up the adhesive tape that covers and insulates the battery terminals so they don't short. And it is very thin, so be careful not to rip it like I did. The next step is to take off the adhesive that holds the battery down. And a really good tip that I've found was that there's a tab right at the bottom of the battery near the home button. And it's kind of hard to find, but once you find it, it'll make everything so much easier to pull off the battery. The next step is to desolder the battery off of the logic board, and I just used a little bit of flux and my soldering iron, and there's just 3 terminals that you have to heat up and pull off, and be very careful, like very, very careful, because they are very difficult to pull off, and this can lead to a lot of mistakes. After you take off your battery, you're going to want to tin up the new terminals, and just to keep them nice and clean, and I would clean it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol just to make everything easier. Now that the battery is fixed, we're going to want to focus our attention on the Wi-Fi module, which you will find in the top left of the opened iPod. And you can clearly identify it by the orange little panel or circuit board. And what my problem is the little wire that connects the logic board to the Wi-Fi module has a small little break in it, and I couldn't really get a good camera angle, so I did most of it off camera. But all I did was I put a little piece of electrical tape around it and checked the continuity with my voltmeter or multimeter, and yeah, it works now. And that's it, you're done. Now all that's left to do is to put everything back together just the way you disassembled it. And yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks for watching.